Good morning. So today we're going to learn about mergeSort. So mergeSort is similar to quicksort. We are using divide and conquer. So divide and conquer method is a way to divide the randomized array into uh, either half or how many times as we want, and then sort it together to make it in order from the least to the largest. Right here we are looking at randomly randomize the number. So we have two methods to sort in merge sort. So we have iterative methods, which is we can use it from for loops, while loop, and it basically we don't even it basically use the loop to sort this number. But there's another way, um, top-down approach. So that will be a recursive function recursive method. That one is a little bit uh, too much space we have to use it. So for example, in recursive we can divide this number into two, right? So we have to find the middle, something like this. uh, 15 and 29 will be separate, 7383 will be separate, and then after that we can divide it to more smaller pieces. But right here we're going to use iterative method. The iterative method is basically dividing the two pieces from existing the array, and we know how to handle this smaller one first, right? So right here we're going to look at these only two this pair of number and compare the numbers and put the least one on the left and the larger one on the right. So we do that for separate pairs and merge them here on the second phase, the first phase, sorry, and then we sort it. Every number pair of them are sorted, and then we merge the first sorted numbers and then compare and produce this the second pass, right? So that we can combine four of them and we sort it. Likewise, we can use it for the separate one. After that, we combine or compare and merge them together on the last piece right here. So that will be 1 2 3 3 5 7 8 9. So it looks so easy, and it is easy when we understand the concept, right? So however, there's another a little bit odd way to think about it, and it's just kind of like we have to understand it. So for example, if we have number 10 here at the end, so these numbers are even numbers, we can divide it so easily, right? For example, this one is 10. It just kind of like live there in outer space on its alone right there, right? So how do we sort that? For example, if we're going to focus only on the even numbers, yeah, they sorted evenly, and we got uh, it to work out pretty well. But right here, since it is odd elements, so I'm sorry, and we have to copy it on the next one. Since we can't, it doesn't have any pairs, so we have to copy on the next one and the next one. So since we are only merging even number, so the tens will come down here, and so this is separate array. We will treat them as separate array, and this is separate array that we sorted. So now is two array that have to be merged at the end, right? And now we got the last number that we want to get, and it's sorted into uh, what the number that we want to have. So that's the solutions for the odd number. So in for the odd number on the right, we also always have to copy it, right? Copy it and then combine it with these numbers. Not combine, sorry. Just hang in there for uh, every merge, and then the last piece we merge it on at the last piece. So that's how it works, and it just like on the last piece, it's just like selection sort. you just look for some where it belong to, right? So and then it just go there. So now we're going to look at um, the code for this. Okay, so here we have two function. So and also we have two array. This one is odd, the odd one. So odd elements, the one that have the numbers, and this one is even one. Okay, now we're gonna test it, and the merge and a new merge right here. So now we're gonna look at this array and this array, a new array, right? So odd array and even array. Okay, now we have merge and merge sort. So why are we having these two, right? So let's have a look at the merge sort for this. Really easy. So what happened? We have first, second, and temporary. So these are array that are already we got already from the left and the right or the middle, and then we have the temporary, so which is we can collect the right solution and where the temporary will start accepting, right, the index. So the index will start from the temp start, and this one is the whole length, like the whole array length, right, the max. So we will receive those arrays and try to compare and collect the sorted out, right? So that's what the merge sort does. So if we look at the while loop right here, we compare the max traverse, obviously index. You know how to use it, right, in the while loop, and we will go from first index, which is 0, till max, and not complete max, right? So the second index likewise, and then max will be the length, and we're not going to reach the exact length, right? The max number will be less than a little bit, just so because the array is started from 0. Similarly, however, right here we have a different conditions statement that we have to put it right here, because the second index and the second length and the first length are a different. They have different lengths because we have to divide it into two pieces, right? So the second length will have a longer one, and the first one will have for the start they don't have equal amount of length. So since we divide it into two, right? So we have to be careful not to go across the out of the array. So that's why we are saying like, hey, second length second index must be less than the second length, and the first index must be less than the first length. If these one or this one got over out of the bound numbers, then we will quit this while loop. So we shouldn't be out of max and out of the length for each variables, each array. If these conditions are true, we're going to compare these first and second array. So for example, first index and second index will start from 0 and compare each other, and the least value one will go into the temporary. So that will be collected here, and we will increment the temporary index and the first index, since the first index will be the least number. If it's not the least one, that will the second one will be the least number, right? So we're going to collect the temporary array, and then we assume that else is going to happen, right? So the second index will be incremented by 1, similarly to the first one. Okay, and then this while loop will quit, since nothing to be collected, right? Sometimes it's happened since the lengths are not the same. We have to collect the leftover right here. That will be, this will be the left from the left, so that will be the start, and it will start from 0, and similarly it will go from there, and we still have to compare something like this. Okay, and if they are, if they are not, if they are true with these conditions, then we will collect all of the leftover number. Okay, and also for the right one too. Okay, so that's it for the merge sort. Let's go to the merge. All right, uh, let's see. Okay, here you go. Okay, we have to initialize. This is where everything starts. We have to initialize array with the length of the array and times by 0. So that means, hey, temporary, give us 0 value for array as much as this array length. So it's going to be a bunch of 0. Okay, and then the right index will start from 1, since it's going to start from the middle, right? So the left won't be 0, since it's going to start from the left or the start. Array start from 0 index, right? And then the while loop is going to be right index is must be less than whatever array length we have here. So however, right here underneath right here we have right index times equal to. That means, hey, jump from 1 to 2. Okay, that means in the next incrementing the index, we have to jump by 2. So it will be the first one will be 1, and the second will be 2 times 2, and the third one will be 4, and then so on until this length is not this index is not large enough or equal to this length. So it will be like 8, 16, 32, something like that. So on the internal loop, the while loop right here on the left side, we will start from 0 and then minus to the larger length. That means we're not going to jump, or we're trying to limit how many times we have to jump, right? So that means we're trying to delay it, for example, this much, so that we don't have to sort the last piece. It's just gonna be there, and we just can collect it. That's what I meant. Like so here we go. So this is what I'm trying to say. Left index plus equal 2 times right index, right? Right index will be whatever the number, so we have to minus this first so that it doesn't repeat. But we have to jump like the right index, but the left index has to be a little bit delayed, a little bit behind the right index, so that we don't cross each other. Just saying like, hey, this block of this number have to be merged. That's what we're trying to say here. So that's 2 times, that's how it's going to increment, and we're not going to go beyond the right index. So merge source functions will take care of the sorting things that we're trying to do. So here in array, Python is amazing. So we can start from the left index, which is 0, until or less than left plus right index. So that will be the max, and then that number of less than will be in array. It will give me a block of array that I wanted, but it will ignore the other array, but it won't change the array itself, the original array, right? So that block of array will be selected and give it to the merge sort. Similarly, the right array will be slice. Basically, they're slicing, right? It will be slicing from the left index plus right index. So what that means is like, hey, you have to jump to this positions of index in array and give me a chunk of code from that, a chunk of number from starting from the left plus right index till the end, right? That's what they're saying. It's like this dot dot. So that will give me a bunch of number in the array that left over. So this is starting this is n, and this is starting positions, and the rest. So that will give me the numbers. So temporary is basically collecting the right sorted array, and it needs somewhere to start, right? So left index will start and it will have to jump again. So that's why we're using the left index. And so the temporary will collect the right sorted array. So once it's collected, we will have to uh, clean up ourselves right here. So the temporary index will be, contain a lot of numbers, the right number, and it will replace the array, right? So now we have sorted array, the right sorted array, so that we can resort it again to see to get the right answer again for each block. So yeah, so it's repeat over again for the second one, the third one, right? And right here we reinitialize left index into 0, sorry, 0, and that's what this while loop is, and it gave us the right answer. So we have to return the last array. So yeah, it gave us for the odd one, it gave the right sorted, and the even one gave us sorted number. And that's it for merge sort.